I'm your host, Taylor, an occupational therapist passionate about sharing valuable insights and inspiring listeners on the power of occupation. Get ready to expand your knowledge, challenge your perspectives, and be inspired by the stories of resilience, determination, and success. In today's episode, we're diving into the definition, strategies, and implementation of motivational interviewing. Now, maybe that's ringing a bell in some of your guys' heads. I first heard about motivational interviewing when I was in OT school, but I really didn't get to see it in practice until I got on my clinical fieldwork rotations and on capstone specifically. I think it's such a great approach that can be used with our clients, but also, honestly, just day-to-day with our peers. It's a strategy that I will often educate families on to use with their loved ones across the lifespan to help them self-initiate change in themselves. So let's first start by understanding what motivational interviewing is. Motivational interviewing is a collaborative, person-centered approach that aims to help strengthen an individual's motivation to make positive changes in their lives. So it recognizes that change is a personal journey and that individuals have the capacity to find their own motivation for change when provided with a supportive and non-judgmental environment. One of the things that I am so honest with family members about, with kids about, if it's age appropriate, is that I cannot give somebody motivation. That is something that comes from within yourselves. And you will find often that motivation is one of the biggest barriers to achieving day-to-day goals, whether that is motivation that's impacted by an ability to do something physically, whether it's motivation to do something as an ADL because of maybe some psychosocial involvement. But motivational interviewing can help us help somebody else help themselves. So, how can occupational therapy practitioners utilize motivational interviewing in their practice? Let's explore some key strategies that can help facilitate empowering conversations. The first component is establishing rapport and building trust. Building a strong therapeutic relationship is essential in motivational interviewing. Occupational therapy practitioners can create a safe and non-judgmental space where individuals feel respected and valued regardless of their age. By actively listening, showing empathy, and expressing a genuine care, we foster trust and can create an atmosphere that is allowing change. The next step, and one of the hardest ones I think it is for family members to complete with their loved one, is asking open-ended questions. I struggled with this so much when I first started actively applying motivational interviewing because it's such a different way of talking and communicating. Open-ended questions invite the individual to reflect and explore and share their own thoughts and feelings. The way that I will describe it to family members that are using motivational interviewing with their children is it allows them to actively problem solve through what they're going through. So for example, by using these questions that begin with what or how or tell me more about, insert something here, it encourages the individuals to express their perspectives, values, and aspirations, and it helps us uncover the motivation for their change. And so what is, and I laugh because I know the challenge, when you're talking with a child, it's so easy to ask them a question that allows them to say no. And we don't realize that we're not doing it on purpose, but starting with these open-ended questions takes away the ability to just default to a no or a yes. And then if we ask them, why, it's hard for them to maybe complete a thought or think of a reason why, and then they abandon the conversation, or we might see some frustration or tantrums. And so just calmly saying, tell me more about this scenario, or how could you do that differently? It gives them a second to think, how could I do that differently? And you would be surprised by their answers. A lot of times they know exactly what they should be doing, and then they just need a little bit of encouragement. But I will say that asking open-ended questions overall is probably the hardest one to apply. But once you get the hang of it, it comes second nature, no problem. The next step, now that we've established rapport and are asking open-ended questions, is using reflective listening. So reflective listening is a tool in motivational interviewing that involves summarizing, paraphrasing, and reflecting back what individuals have shared. This technique allows us to show genuine understanding and empathy, and it allows individuals to be heard and to be validated. Reflective listening also helps people gain insight, again, into their own thoughts, into their own motivations. And it can be hard. And when we share these strategies, I think it helps us as individuals really take a moment and remember that we're all human, and having someone to just listen openly and not feel like your needs are being put to the side is so valued and so important. And I think it helps increase the level of empathy that we can share with other people. Next step is eliciting change talk. So change talk are statements individuals make that express their desire, ability, reasons, or need to change. So what occupational therapy practitioners can do is listen for change talk and then skillfully reinforce and explore it further. So examples like I mentioned before, what would be different if you made this change? Or what are the benefits you see of making this change? Or one that I've used before, especially in the psychosocial realm, is tell me about a time that XYZ worked for you. What's different than now? Asking these questions, we help individuals strengthen their motivation and again, make a commitment to change. The next part, resolving ambivalence. So ambivalence is a common experience when it comes to change. And we use these motivational interviewing strategies to help people explore this by acknowledging and validating both sides of the issues. By discussing the pros and discussing the cons and the barriers and the benefits, we support individuals in resolving this and finding clarity in their motivation for change. It goes back to when we ask questions that allow someone to say yes or no. We stay kind of in that ambivalent area, if you will, but using those other types of open-ended questions that begin with the what or the how, it allows them to elicit that change talk, and then from there start problem solving actively about how they can make that change. The next component of motivational interviewing is just supporting autonomy. So motivational interviewing emphasizes the importance of respecting the individual's autonomy and self-determination. And our jobs as occupational therapy practitioners is to empower people by involving them as active participants in the decision-making process. We talk about this all the time in school, that I am not here as your therapist to just talk to you or tell you what to do. This is a team effort. I say this to the kids that come in for their interviews, that come in for their evaluations. Tell me what you would like to do. You are a part of this as well as your parents. We are not just here to talk at you. We're here to explore with you. And then with that, when we're acting in a way that supports autonomy, we encourage people to explore their own solutions and strategies and help them take ownership of their own journey and build confidence in their ability to make those meaningful changes. So now that we've explored the different components of motivational interviewing, let's talk about implementing it in practice. It's important to remember that effective implementation requires ongoing training, practice, and reflection. And as OT practitioners, we can seek specialized training in motivational interviewing, participate in supervision or peer consultation, and also good old-fashioned professional development to help refine our skills. In practice, motivational interviewing can be integrated into various interventions and various settings, whether you're working with kids, adults, older adults. OT practitioners can incorporate motivational interviewing principles to help facilitate goal setting, behavior change, and follow through with treatment plans. As we wrap up today's episode, I hope you gained a deeper understanding of motivational interviewing in the realm of occupational therapy. By utilizing these strategies and implementing motivational interviewing principles, OT practitioners can foster meaningful conversations, empower individuals to find their own motivation for change, and support them on their journey to achieving their goals. If you've enjoyed our discussions and want to stay connected, be sure to subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts, ideas, and suggestions for future episodes. Thank you for being a part of this community, and until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep embracing the power of occupation and making a positive impact in the lives of those around you.